Warning, this podcast episode contains mature themes and content that may be unsettling and triggering for some audiences. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, guys and dolls. Welcome back to the show, Conversations with Zelia. I'm your host, Zelia Rain. Today is Wednesday, March 26, 2025, and in today's episode is my last of the Hot Takes trilogy, and it's this time on pop culture, and I'll be presenting my very, very hot takes and unpopular opinions on anything pop culture related. So, if you agree with my hot takes, or are pissed off or don't like my hot takes, then just leave it in the comments. Other than that, let's jump right in. Now, my first hot take will be a very contentious hot take or not so contentious hot take, depending on what fan you are. But my first hot take is Prince had it easy in the industry in public eye than Michael. Now, I thought about not leaving this hot take out and doing a separate video on it, but if you were to look at it, Prince really did have it easier than Michael, because of the fact they shield Prince more than Michael, all because the fact Prince was this musical genius who played a bunch of instruments that a lot of people can name, and he made a lot more albums than Mike, and he had an eclectic, he created his own genre, which was the Minneapolis sound, and his music reflected in eclectic genres, while downplaying Michael's musicality, saying that, make it seem as though Quincy was the genius behind Michael. If Quincy was the genius behind Michael, Michael's post-Quincy albums would have flopped instead of being successful. And Quincy or without Quincy, Michael would have been successful. And yes, Michael did write his own songs. And last time I checked, wasn't vocals considered a instrument? But they use all those qualities about Prince to pretty much downplay Michael or downgrade Michael, which if Prince was so good because of those qualities, then how come it took him dying for people to give him his flowers, like giving him a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Grammys and induct him to the Songwriters Hall of Fame. And speaking of Lifetime Achievement Awards, isn't this funny that Prince was able to receive a Lifetime Achievement Award from the BET Awards, we still alive, but not Michael? So don't you find that odd? But then again, who cares about the BET Awards anyways? But back to the conversation. They like to use all that to make it seem as though Prince was a big musical genius. Like Michael, he was a musical genius as well. Michael did a lot of things with or without Quincy, because they like to make it seem as though Quincy was genius behind Michael, which Michael was already a musical genius even when he was a child. So let's not downplay Michael's musical genius to prop up a dude that literally bashed him when he passed away and after he passed away. But still, our rest in peace, Quincy. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy Prince as well, but Prince's work, a lot of Prince's post-reign work is a mixed bag, while most of Michael's work is timeless. Then with Prince's albums, any of his work post 80s is pretty much acquired taste or not that good. Diamonds and Pearls, in my opinion, is pretty much Prince's last great album and only great album from the 90s. And then in regards to the public eye, when Prince is It doesn't come like, and when Prince is discussed in the public eye, Prince wasn't super maligned by the media, though in the same way Mike was. If he was attacked by the media, it was when he was changed his name to the symbol over his beef for his record label. And when it comes to sketch comedy shows, the jokes on Prince, they were a little lighthearted, namely regards to his height, his fading star power, or him being a Casanova. While the jokes about Michael, it was either about his appearance, his eccentricities, him being weird, or the dumb old chomo jokes. But yeah, Prince had to ease it in the industry and public eye, and I'll expand more on it and probably explain more on it in another video or on the comic section. And then this next hot take, I know MJ fans are going to be coming at my throat with this, but let's be honest. Elizabeth Taylor was a toxic influence of Michael. Yes, I said it. Elizabeth Taylor was a toxic influence of Michael. For years, after Michael passed away, because I only learned more about him when he passed away, I thought, since the way it was portrayed to me that Elizabeth and Michael had a great friendship, until I did research and find out that Elizabeth was not that great of a friend of Michael. In fact, she was pretty much a toxic influence on Michael. Michael in The Truth has an excellent article on this has an excellent blog post on this called Friends and Foes and Undecided, in which Elizabeth Taylor is listed undecided. And if you read the blog post, Elizabeth Taylor was, in so many words, the reason why that shady dermatologist remained in Michael's inner circle, since both she and Michael were his patients. And that dermatologist was pretty much enabling Elizabeth's drug addiction. Because a lot of people forgot that Elizabeth had a crazy drug addiction. Not to mention when Michael was going through his crisis in '93, and I found this out for the research online, she, along with Michael's bodyguard Bill Bray, kept Michael's parents from contact again, which is a shady thing to do. And to make it even worse, when Michael was going through the '05 trial, she was never there to defend him physically. And when he passed away, refused to attend his funeral, though she did attend his burial, calling it a hoopla, which has the same energy as those bodyguards that wrote the book that got turned into that god-awful Lifetime movie, calling Michael's funeral service a show, which I'll discuss them in my horrible biopics video. But yeah, Elizabeth Taylor was a very toxic influence on Michael, and we shouldn't romanticize that friendship. The only two loyal friends that Michael had was Macaulay Culkin and Chris Tucker. But moving on, my third hot take is the Supremes are super overrated. And this is just a personal hot take in regards to looking at the history of Motown. We all know that the Supremes, they were heavily pushed to Motown over far more superior musical acts and groups. It is obvious they were Barry Gordy's favorite, and not just because he was making soup with the lead singer. Even when they were still struggling, Barry still had a preference for them. In fact, as Gladys Horn stated, and I'm paraphrasing of Gladys Horn and Marvelettes, she stated how the Marvelettes, they were looked down by the rest of the Motown family, quote unquote, because of the fact they were from Inkster and weren't as uptownish as their more town city counterparts. And then the fact when the Supremes became really big, that's when Motown put all their money resources on them. And then I know there was a singing career, even though, because listening to a lot of the Motown catalog, there were way more superior girl groups and female acts than the Supremes, such as Tammy Terrell, Kim Weston, Martha and the Vandellas, the Marvelettes. And they all got pushed aside and screwed over in favor of the Supremes, along with other interpersonal conflicts. But yeah, I only like a few songs for the Supremes, and the Supremes, they're very overrated. And then the next one, I'm killing two birds with one stone. Taylor Swift and Beyonce are super overhyped. It's very self-explanatory. No hate, I don't have any hate or to cite against them, but they're way super overhyped. Both of them equally more so. And that's my 2 cents on that. Then my next hot take is that, which is in the sitcom field, is that Seinfeld and Friends are mid overhyped shows, or mid shows are overrated slash overhyped. If it's for those asking, you're being judgmental or you're just joining in the backlash. I've watched both Friends and Seinfeld as a kid, back on either on TBS or Fox when they used to show reruns of that show. And even then, I wasn't fond of I didn't see what was special about Seinfeld and Friends. There were far more superior sitcoms at that time period where Seinfeld and Friends came out. And to me, Seinfeld and Friends, they're pretty much not that good shows. I feel like the reason they're both overhyped because they were the definitive 90s sitcom. And then that's not even getting started how Friends may or may not have ripped off, they definitely ripped off Living Single, namely with the whole premise and characters. But I digress. This next hot take is biased because I am a 2000s baby and my childhood is in the 2000s and early to mid 10s, but quality media peaked in the 2000s, early 10s. And this is me referring to children's media, adult media, since I watched both of those as kids, but the 2000s and early 10s was the golden age of great media, in my opinion. There was good music, good 2000s R&B, good 2000s pop, good cartoons, good shows, and they all peaked in the 2000s and early 10s. You know, my honest opinion, 2016 was the last great year for music, in my opinion, but we had quality media back then. Like, we had quality reality shows like Flavor of Love, I Love New York, Jersey Shore, Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, remember that show? And we also had good kid coms like Drake and Josh, anything made from Disney, Cartoon Network, and all of that. But yeah, that's just me showing my bias here. In fact, for all the Gen Z babies that grew up in the 2000s, early 10s, list some couple of shows you grew up watching. And I may or may not remember them. Then this next one is it's kind of like very personal or a subjective choice, but music critics are fans. They're very flaky when it comes to a music artist's growth. I probably haven't mentioned this about you, but I am a music kid. I listen to a lot of music. And a pattern I always notice when it comes to a lot of music artists, that these music critics and fans are pretty flaky when it comes to a music artist catalog. Like, they'll critique an artist for pretty much following the same formula with their work or continuing with the same style, but when they change up with their new album or their new works, they bash them. Like, for a good example would be Prince. When Prince came out with Around the World in a Day, if it didn't do well because it wasn't Purple Rain, and music critics and fans, they wanted another album that was Purple Rain, did with History, then with the Michael Jackson album History, and to a certain extent, the post-Quincy works. Some music critics, a lot of fans, they shit on the post-Quincy works because Michael was exploring new music styles like New Jack Swing, classical, hip-hop, and all that. That goes to show you just how flaky some of these fans are. Like, you want change, but yet you abhor the change. Like, which pick a struggle. It is giving gatekeeping vibes. Then my next hot take is foreign media is very superior to American media. Now, for those that don't know me, I don't just watch old cartoons and anime. I also watch a lot of foreign media, namely from anime or live action stuff from Brazil. And I can tell you that American media has some competition when it comes to Brazilian media. Like, I have a subscription to Global Play, and I've been watching a lot of good Brazilian media. Like, one of the shows I watched is a show called Archangel Renegado, and it's a very dark and gritty action show. I've yet to watch the third season, but it's a great show, and it really captures the action and violence of the main character's duties The most visceral episode was the first episode of the second season, where the main character was part of some some refugee militia, and they were pretty much attacking these African terrorists that was terrorizing a bunch of girls, and the that were pretty much getting taught by a teacher. And some other superior Brazilian media is their novellas series, like the classic ones like Cheias de Charme, Avenida Brazil, Camarigado, Celebridade, Vale Tudo, Roque Santeiro, and not to mention foreign music. Why do you think foreign music is getting popular lately? Like reggaeton, like a few years ago, reggaeton and Latin pop was popular. Now what's popular at the moment is African music like Afrobeats, Amapiano. Artists like Wizkid, Tyla, Davido, topping the charts. Like I really enjoy a lot of foreign media, especially foreign music, like with genres like bossa nova, MPV, samba, XA, Afrobeats. I can go on. I just enjoy foreign media better than current American media. No, it's not for the reasons you think. It's just that foreign media is a lot more interesting and more expressive than American media. But moving on. And this next one is pretty much a personal pet peeve for me. And this next one is people are very flaky when it comes to a celebrity deaths or scandals. The one thing that tends to take me off is every time some celebrity dies or gets a scandal, the fakeness comes out. Like, for example, when Liam Payne of One Direction passed away a few months ago, those same people who were a few weeks ago calling him a monster, bashing him, calling him a hot mess, they're all sudden, oh, I love Liam. Liam was my childhood. I miss One Direction. Yada, yada, yada. But yet, when he was around, y'all were bashing him. Like, don't get me wrong, Liam did do some messed up things over the years, like how he bashed and made generalizations about his upbringing, but still, the fact y'all were bashing him and all of a sudden singing his praises when he passed away, it just screams so phony to me. Like we always bash these people. Like when these deceased celebrities, we always bash these people when we're living, either because of how they're portrayed to me or something they've done. But when they pass away, we all of a sudden decide to sing their praises, give them their flowers, saying, oh, we missed them. They were my childhood. I loved their work. Yada, yada, yada. And don't get me started on the slavery scandals. Like, even though I'm not really defending these men, when that Survivor R. Kelly documentary came out, y'all literally threw R. Kelly to the wolves, even though it tried to rewrite history, make it seem as though, oh, he was a monster. I should know words were first place, but yet, when he was still high and popular, y'all wanted to work with him, even though y'all knew he had a sketchy reputation. But when a documentary comes out that pretty much rehashes all his past allegations to pretty much make the third allegation stronger come out, y'all all of a sudden wanted to distance stuff from him, throw him on the bus, remove the music he wrote for you off your platforms and albums, call him all types of names. We're just gonna show you just how fake and virtue signaling y'all were. Did with Diddy. Before 2020, y'all were literally buddy with Diddy, singing his praises, saying y'all loved him, going to his parties. But when everything goes downhill for him, y'all throw him on the bus and say we been knew about him, even though it was already known that Diddy was a shady man who screwed over his artists. Like, go listen to that infamous interview with him and the Locks for that. And the bad boy curse. But when Diddy gets allegations, y'all sort of want to turn on them. Like, the fake and phoniest, man. And that leads me to my next hot take, which is revisionist history when a celeb is in hot water is annoying and screams jumping the bandwagon. Like, it is something else with these celebrity scandals. Every time a celebrity gets a hot word and people want to rewrite history about them, it pretty much throw them under the bus just to jump on the bandwagon, like with Diddy. You also want to rewrite history and act like you knew that he was a shady man, even though it was well documented he was a shady man, just so you want to jump on a bandwagon and throw him in the bus. Like, for example, someone brought up a scene from the movie Scary Movie, from the first Scary Movie, where Brenda was chatting with Cindy about Buffy, and Buffy stated how, no, Brenda, I keep getting the characters' names mixed wrong. How Brenda saw Buffy attend Diddy's party, and she was in getting buck wild in the jacuzzi with a backup dancer, and people, they took that joke and saying, "Oh, the Wayans brothers knew about it," even though that was just a random joke that people made out because it was prophetic. And then with the R. Kelly situation, it was already well documented in sketch comedy and media, R. Kelly's allegations. But that didn't stop people to listening to his songs on the radio, going to his concerts, watching Trapped in a Closet, the Fever Dream 2B novella, or wanting to work on him. Then the moment the doc comes out, you also want to read a history about him and throw him on the bus. I really don't enjoy that because that's just virtue signaling. You're showing fakeness. And another thing to also think about, if these celebrities really cared about these accusers, they would have took the money they made from collaborating with R. Kelly and donated to a women's charity or a charity devoted to Black women, which, as far as I know, none of them didn't do. And I'm not saying that you should criticize celebrity, but when you criticize a celebrity and then try to create revisionist history, then that's what you should be called out on. Because let's be honest, and y'all get mad at me with the statement, nobody put whoever worked with R. Kelly, whoever collaborated R. Kelly, a gun to their heads to collaborate with them. They chose the decision to work with him, knowing that he had allegations, but they also need to develop a conscience when a doc comes out about it. And it's annoying for people to jump on the bandwagon and create revisionist history, but alas, that's it for my hot takes. If you have any hot takes of pop culture or hot takes of your own, be sure to check it out in the comments. My next show episode will be me giving a music review of the Warriors concept album, and after that is a review of the movie My Baby's Daddy, starring Eddie Griffin, Michael Imperioli, and Anthony Anderson. An episode on horrible biopics, and then a movie review on the movie Just Cause with Sean Connery. Also, I'm thinking about doing a live stream sometime in April or May, or pretty much sometime soon, which I'm probably not going to show my face. So it'll be a Q&A type live stream, or where I could just chat with my fans, discuss some little things, discuss what I'm doing at the moment and all that. But I hope you enjoyed this episode. This episode was nice chatting with you. This episode will be available on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, YouTube, and other platforms. It was nice seeing you. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your day. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.